have this page here which displays some information about an order that was placed on this site. And what I would like to do through this episode is provide a link down here at the bottom where the user and the customer can come here and basically accept a PDF format of this order as an invoice. So they can click on a link down here, and then it would take them to a PDF format of the same content where they can print out their invoice for this order. Now, back in episode 78, I showed you how to generate PDF documents using the PDF Writer gem. Now, this is still a valid way to generate PDFs, but there is a much newer gem on the scene called Prawn, which can be used to generate Ruby PDFs, and it seems like that's what all the cool kids are using nowadays. So I figured it was time to update and provide an episode using Prawn to generate PDF documents through Ruby on Rails. Now, Prawn is a very fast PDF generator in Ruby, which you can install with a simple gem install command, but it's not specifically targeted toward Ruby on Rails. So if we want to get the most out of this in a Rails application, I also recommend installing this plugin called Pronto. Now, the main advantage to using Pronto is that it provides a template handler which you can access through a .prawn extension, so you can basically render out a PDF document as a view inside of Rails. Let me show you. So first, if you haven't already, just do a simple gem install prawn to get that. And then you can install the Pronto plugin with script plugin install, and then pass in the path to Pronto, which is this, which I'll post in the show notes for this episode. And here's what our view template looks inside of our application, our show page for displaying the order details. And basically we want to create another view for the PDF version of the show template. Now, there's really no need to modify the controller, at least not in my testing. You don't need to add a respond to block or anything like that from what I can tell. All you have to do is just pass in a new template in here. Let's call it show.pdf because that is the version or the format that we want to use, and then .prawn because that's the template handler we want to use to generate this template. Now, Pronto gives us this PDF variable that we can use inside this view, and it's really simple. You just have to call any kind of prawn method on this PDF document. So let's say text and then hello world. Let's try this out. So we just have to go back to our order page and add the .pdf extension here to get to that format, and there we go. This is our PDF document with our hello world text that we added through our prawn template. Now, obviously we want to make this PDF a little bit more helpful, so let's add some text in here to say the order number, which is the order ID, which we can get from the controller. And then we can say, let's make this size 30, and then our style is bold. And then a quick reload here, we can see there's our order number displayed here on our PDF. Now, we also want to list our products on this page, so let's loop through all of our orders line items. So we'll say cart line items each. So each of these will say item, and then we just want to display the product's name. How about? So we could say pdf.text item product name. And then just a quick reload here, and there we go. There's our products listed here. Now, it would be nice to display the pricing and information here as well. So let's change this to be a table format instead of just a simple list of product names. Now, Prawn has some basic table support with pdf.table method, and we basically takes a two-dimensional array of records, and that will be used to print out the table. So let's call this items, and we'll use this list up here to generate the items. So instead of just printing out the product name here, we'll change this to map so that we can generate a two-dimensional array of items here. So we want to have our product name be the first one in the list, the first column, and then we have quantity, and then unit price, and then full price. So again here, this map method just loops through all of the line items. For each of those, it'll take an array of the columns, and then it will take all those and put them in an array. So this will be a two-dimensional array of all the items and the columns for each of them. So we can reload the document here, and there's our table with our items listed. Not too bad. Now this table method supports a lot of different options that you can pass to it to customize the way the table looks. I won't go into each of them now, but you can check out the Prawn documentation for details. So what I'll just do is just paste in some of the options here so that we can change the style of the border so it's always a grid line between each item, add some alternating row colors, throw in some headers for each of the columns, and then change our aligning so that the last three columns align to the right because they're more numeric values. And if we reload the page again here, that's what it looks like so far. We've got our separate items with the alternating row colors, and our prices and numbers are aligned to the right. Makes it pretty clean. Now it would be nice if there's a little bit more of a gap between the table and this order title here, so let's add that. So we can do so by using the move down method in our template here. On our PDF, just call move down, and we could say move down 30 points, let's say. And then reload here. You can see that our table is now scooted down, so that basically just moves the current cursor position down that many points. Now we also need to display the total purchase price of this order on here. So let's say we'll move down 10 more points, and then we'll say add some text in here that says total price. Call our order cart total price method, which returns the total price value. And then let's make this font size maybe 16 and the style bold. So we can reload here, and there's our total price value, which it looks pretty good, except one thing you might have noticed here is that none of our price values have dollar signs or rounded the 2 digits. So we need to basically convert this to a currency value and add our dollar signs into here. Now one of the nice things about using Pronto, which has a PDF view as a template, is that we have access to all of our helper methods that we normally do in Rails. So we can use our number to currency method that you're probably familiar with in a regular Rails application. It would help if I spell it right. Then we can use this on all prices that we display. So let's add one here, and there we go. And then finally reload here, and there's all of our price values and dollars with the proper rounding and so on. Now the final thing we need to do to make this complete is add a link to the HTML version to link to the PDF format so we can print it and access it. So going back to our HTML template for our order show page, let's add a link in here. Let's say printable invoice as a PDF. And so what do we use to pass in to generate the URL to this PDF format? That's the real question here. Now in an earlier version of Rails, you could do formatted order path, and then pass in your order in the format you want. But that will not work in the very latest new version of Rails, which is 2.3. Instead, the formatted path is no longer available, so you need to just call order path, pass in your order, and then pass in format as PDF. And that will generate the formatted path. The reason they took that method out is because it used up extra memory basically to have another named route to generate for the formatted version of each path basically. So if we reload here, we can see there's our link going to our PDF version. Clicking it goes to that, and then we can print it and have it look exactly like we want. And the last thing I want to show you real quick here is in your controller you can pass in some additional options to Pronto to customize how your PDFs are generated. So let's say we can call Pronto in here at the very top of your controller, and we want to change some Prawn options that get passed in when we create a new PDF document to change the top margin size, for example. We can call Prawn, and then top margin is, let's say, 75 points. And then when we reload here, you can see our top margin has been extended. So I encourage you to check out the documentation for details on all the options you can pass into there. You can check out the Prawn and Pronto documentation that I'll post to post a link in the show notes for this episode. This episode is sponsored in part by Sifter, a bug and issue tracking application designed to be inviting to even the least technical team members and clients. Check out sifterapp.com for a free 30-day trial. Also sponsored by Pragmatic Screencasts. They offer high-quality screencasts on a variety of subjects, including Ruby and Rails. Check them out at pragmatic.tv.